Here we will discuss about ordinary and exact interest. Now, the idea about ordinary and exact interest is that when the given period of transaction is number of days. So either we have to divide by 360 for the ordinary interest, which is based on every month has 30 days. So for 1 year, there are 360 days, or based on exact number of days every month, which has 365 days for ordinary year and 366 days for the leap year. So we will discuss some examples where we have it here. The first example is that we have to find the ordinary interest earned on 38,500 for 150 days at 5 1/3% simple interest rate. So obviously that the given period of transaction here is 150 days. So similarly, we have to identify the given, then the amount given or the principal given here is 38,500, and the simple interest rate is 5 1/3%, which can be expressed in proper fraction because the given is a mixed fraction. So how to do that? Just simply multiply the denominator with the given whole number. So 5 times 3, 15, plus the numerator as 16. So we have 16 over 3%. And then in order to remove the percentage symbol here, we have to divide by 100. So this is just simply 16 over 300. So again, as much as possible, avoid using decimal value. So we can express this as fractional form. And for the given period of transaction is 150 days, then we have to look for the ordinary interest. Meaning to say that since the period of transaction is number of days, so then in order to convert into year, so either we have to divide by 360 or 365. But then again, since the unknown here is ordinary interest, so we have to divide by 360 in order to convert into year. So we have the same formula as I equal to PRT, that it so happened that we have to convert the given number of days into year. So for the ordinary interest, just simply that divisor is based on the banker's rule, or there are 30 days every month. So then substituting the given here, that the principal P or present value is equal to 38,500, and then the rate of interest is 16 over 300. For the number of days of transaction as 150, then since we are looking for the ordinary interest, therefore the divisor is 360. Then you will have here that the ordinary interest earned for 38,500 is 855.56. Now, for the second example, it says that how much is the exact interest. So here, it is identified that we have to look for the exact interest. Paid on a loan of 35,000 for 300 days. So similarly, the given period of transaction is number of days. The money worth is 12% simple interest. So similarly, we have to identify the given. The amount of loan is also a P, a capital P or present value P, which is 35,000. And then for the rate of interest is simple is 12%. And then for the period of transaction is 300 days. So here we have to look for the exact interest, meaning to say that in order to convert the number of days into year, we have to consider the divisor for ordinary year, which is 365 days. We have to consider the ordinary year because it is not indicated if it is leap year or not. So if it is not indicated, we have to consider the ordinary year, which is 365 days for 1 year. So substituting the given value here, the amount of loan, which is P, is 35,000. The simple interest rate is 0.12. And then for the number of days is 300. In order to convert into years, so we have to divide by 365 for the reason that the given interest, or we have to find the interest as exact interest. So we have the exact interest is 3,452.05. So this is the exact interest that we have to find, or we have to determine. And for example number 3, this is a problem about ordinary interest. Okay, let us write. The given problem is how much is the simple interest earned. Now, it is not indicated here either it is an ordinary or it is an exact, but the period of transaction given is number of days. Now, if it is not indicated in the problem and the period of transaction is number of days, so we have to consider the ordinary interest, not the exact interest. So we always consider the ordinary if it is not indicated in the problem. We can only find the exact interest if it is indicated in the problem, meaning to say it is a given condition in the problem. The money worth is 12% simple interest. So identifying the given, we will consider that the investment is the P, which is $500,000, or we just simply consider as 500,000. The interest rate is 12%, and then the period of transaction is number of days as 550 days. Now, as I mentioned, then we have to look for the ordinary interest because it is not indicated as an exact. So then, in order to find the interest earned, we have to consider the divisor of 360 for the conversion of number of days into year. So similarly, we have to substitute the given as 500,000 for the investment, and then for the rate of interest is 12%. So this is 0.12. And then for the number of days is 550 to convert into year is divided by 360 for ordinary interest. So we have ordinary interest here as 91,666.67 pesos. And for number 4 problem, we have to choose between the 5% ordinary interest or the 5% exact interest. Now, there are no given here for the principal or period of transaction. So here we will just assume any amount. You can assume any amount. So say we can assume that the principal P is 1,000. And then for the period of transaction, let us just consider 100 days. Because the given are ordinary and exact. So meaning to say that the period of transaction is number of days. And then we have to verify which is better. Now, you are the lender here. So meaning to say we have to consider the higher interest. So if we will consider the ordinary interest, then the divisor will be 360. So substituting the assumed value, we have that the principal is 1,000. The given simple interest is 5% or 0.05, and then we assume that the period of transaction is 100 days. So the divisor is 360 in order to convert into year for the given period of transaction. So we have here as 13.89 pesos for the ordinary interest. And if we will use the exact interest, then the divisor will be 365 for the ordinary year. So similarly, substituting the given value here, the principal that we assume is 1,000, and then the interest rate given is 5% or 0.05. And then we also assume for 100 days period of transaction. Now, to convert into year, we have to divide into 360 for an exact interest. So here we have that the exact interest is 13.70 pesos. So then, as a lender, you always have to consider which earn higher interest. So obviously that the ordinary interest earn higher interest than the exact. So then, as a lender, you will consider the ordinary interest. So it is better to consider the ordinary interest if you are the lender. But if you are the borrower, obviously you will consider the lower interest. So you will consider the exact interest.